Hey y'all, Unbreakable here. Another episode of Ask Unbreakable Anything. And we start all of these out with our disclaimer. I am not, nor will I ever claim to be an expert, a mental health professional, or a know-it-all. I am simply a very, very vocal survivor. I share my story. I share my experience, strength, and hope. I share what I've gone through, what I've overcome. I share what I struggle with. I share my own toxic traits. I share me. So let's go. This episode, the question was, have you or do you feel like it's you that was doing the wrong when you know it's their wrong you're in trouble for? Shall we go with the simple answer? How about hell yeah? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Is that enough for this episode? No, let's go a little further. I want to go back to a post that posted just a couple of days ago, written by Maria Consigli. The post said, narcissists purposely cause confusion by creating two polar experiences or realities. They love bomb you by being charming, complimentary, and loving. And then they devalue you by purposely making you feel inadequate and not good enough. This causes victims to suffer from cognitive dissonance, which is extreme mental discomfort and confusion caused from the two polar experiences, and makes it difficult for victims to distinguish which experience is indicative of the reality of the relationship. Was I always in trouble? Yes. Was I so brainwashed that I started to question whether it was really my fault, whether I was really the one doing wrong, whether I didn't do something right, whether I said something wrong, whether I behaved a certain way, even though anything and everything was the had a post. I don't know if it's been posted in some time, but you find it goes along the lines of, I know you're cheating on me. I found out by going through your phone. And the narcissist responds with, you go through my phone, you went through my phone. I can't trust you. I can't be with someone who I don't trust. Completely glazing over the fact that there was infidelity or cheating, blaming it on us. And when this happens consistently about everything, you start to believe it. You start to question your own sanity. You start dealing with those two polar opposites of cognitive dissonance. An example that I've used in the past, the sky is blue. We know this, right? 52 years, the sky's always been blue for me. And yet someone tells you, the sky is purple. Like, what's wrong with you? You need to have your eyes checked. Like, everybody knows the sky is purple. Like, seriously? I think you're sick. Like, maybe you need to go have your head checked. Do you need some of those colored glasses that make you see when you're colorblind? Like, everybody knows this. How can you not know this? You're so stupid. What's wrong with you? The sky is purple. And when you hear something like that over and over and over again, you start to question if that's real. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do need to have my eyes checked. I better go have my eyes checked. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, if I'm being told that the sky is purple, but I've always believed it to be blue, like, maybe I've just grown up wrong. Maybe the people in my life previously, they taught me wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing it correctly. Maybe I'm going crazy or insane. Like, oh my gosh, I need to apologize. Like I need to listen better. I need to believe what I'm being told. And yet the whole flip side of it is that can't be right. Like, I was taught in school that the sky is blue. Like, could every single one of my teachers and science teachers, like, could they all be wrong? Like, what I learned about light refraction, whatever it is. I was never good at science. Like what I learned about that, could those theories all be wrong? Like, have I gotten it wrong all these years? Like, you literally start questioning your own sanity on everything. On everything. I started avoiding in the last couple of years of my most recent marriage. I couldn't pinpoint or recognize that what I was going through was, I just knew that I hated it. What this was doing and what he wanted me to do, I hated it. I had never heard of it before. I didn't know anything about it. I hated it. I hated it. And I would beg and I would plead and I would say no and I would cry. I went along with it for years. Years, because that's what I was supposed to do. That's what he liked. That's what he wanted, despite the fact that I was uncomfortable with it. Despite the fact that he would try to manipulate me and tell me, you like this. Say that you like this. Like, no, I don't. No, I don't. It was violent. It was always violent. But I was married. And he made sure that I knew I had to give that up to him. I had to be submissive. I had to take whatever I could get, because that's what a good wife did. To the extent one day I was getting cursed out and he said, go find some other D. Maybe they'll put up with your BS. I knew that these acts made me uncomfortable. I knew that they hurt. I knew that I didn't like them. I knew that I felt filthy, degraded, disgusting. I knew that I had no choice. And yet on the flip side, with everything I was being told and how I was being treated, I knew that there was something wrong with me, because why didn't I like this? Why didn't I want to submit to my husband? Why didn't I want to please him? Why didn't I want to give him all of these random things that he wanted? What was wrong with me? I took care of the entire household financially, physically. I worked a full-time job, came home and had a full-time job at home. Took care of all of the kids. We were a blended family. I gave birth to 2, and together we had 6. His 4, my 1, and our shared 1. So it was a total of 6 kids. I made sure all the kids had everything. I gave up my retirement so that one of my bonus children could continue going to Baylor University. I gave up my retirement for one of my bonus children, my stepdaughters. And I worked my butt off with Baylor to the extent that they refunded all of that money that I had given up from my retirement. And they took it and said, it's my effing money. Gave up my retirement and paid it to Baylor. My retirement that started before we were married, and wrote a check to Baylor University. And he took it and they refunded it. And I got told I'm ungrateful. I got told that anything that comes into this household is his, that he's the one that pays all the bills, despite the fact that he wasn't. I was the one who paid all of the bills. I was the one who went completely broke every payday. I was the one who had to beg, cry, and plead him to transfer some money into my account so that I wasn't broke every payday while he walked around with thousands of dollars in his account, spending it on toys, you name it, anything and everything. But I believed I was ungrateful. Because, see, I was told that when I was young, too. So I must be ungrateful. I must be ungrateful. What's wrong with me that I'm so ungrateful and I can't be thankful for everything that this person does for me? And yet I just gave up my own retirement. But I'm ungrateful. Cognitive dissonance. Knowing the truth, but struggling with the lies that are pounded into your head constantly, up and down, back and forth, pendulum. And you just start to believe that you start to be confused on which way is up. You know this is up, but you're being told this is up. But I think this is up. But no, they're telling me this is up. It's this constant sick cycle. And we get so caught up in it. Because this person loves me. This person cares about me. This person wants the best for me. This person wants to spend their life with me. This person tells me they love me. And every once in a while they show it, they act it. But then it flips back to the other, right? The days of hell after. The love bombing. The give and the take. Love bomb, love bomb, love bomb. Withhold, 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 withhold. My entire relationship, I knew I was wrong. And the favorite punishment was the silent treatment. Favorite punishment. And for whatever reason, he was on a 3-day cycle. I've said this before. 3 days of love bombing, 3 days of silent treatment. I don't know why. I don't know. It's what it always was. But I always knew, just hold on for 3 more days and he'll start talking to me again. And then we'll be in love and then I'll be happy and everything will be fabulous because I'm done with my punishment for whatever I did. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I said. I don't know what I didn't do. But he told me it's my fault and he's punishing me for it. So I need to be a good girl and take my punishment. Not recognizing that I didn't do anything wrong. That this was his form of manipulation and control. And keeping me completely insane and controlled. I had so many moments where I would get so down because, God, I'm such a bad person. I'm a horrible wife. I'm a horrible mother. I don't deserve to exist in this world. I don't deserve his love. I don't deserve his kindness and his generosity. I was in bad places, emotionally, cognitively. I was in bad places. Because from one minute to the next, I could not figure out whether the sky was blue or purple and whether this was up or this was down. I didn't know what I did wrong, yet I knew that he did wrong. It was my fault he cheated. It was my fault he used. It was my fault he was an alcoholic. It was my fault he has a. It was my fault for everything. Everything. And it was hell. It is hell living in that place of, I know this is not my fault. I know that I'm not crazy. But he's telling me this is my fault. And he's telling me that I'm crazy. Which one is it? So while the simple answer to your question, did you ever feel like everything was your fault when you knew that it was their fault? The simple answer to your question is yes. But it's so much more convoluted than a simple yes. And trust, having been in this environment, having been on this page, having been in this world, having opened my mouth up and started speaking my story and interacting with other survivors and other victims, it's not unique. I'm not an anomaly. What I went through is not an anomaly. It's not foreign. It is textbook. At being involved with a narcissist, it is textbook. They all do it. We all go through it. You're not crazy. You are not alone. I can assure you that there is a way out. There's a way to heal. There is a way to get over it. There is a way to move on. But it all starts with you. And that's the hardest part. If you are not currently in therapy, I recommend therapy through the roof. My therapist helped save my life. I don't know where I would have been without her, and I still see her to this day every week. Love her to death. Best therapist in the world. I recommend support groups. I recommend opening your mouth and sharing your story. I know I have posted several variations of the same exact thing that says you don't realize how bad it was until you start saying it to someone else. I didn't realize how my marriage was until I started opening my mouth and seeing the faces of those that I told. Jaws dropped, eyes wide open, saying, "Oh my gosh, how did you survive that? How did you get through that? Like, do you recognize what you went through is not okay?" I didn't know. It starts with opening your mouth to someone, a professional, trusted friend or family member, a support group. It starts with opening your mouth and sharing your story. You begin taking your power back when you open your mouth. You begin removing their control when you open your mouth. And trust me, I know how hard it is. Oh, I know how hard it is. If you've been around this page, you know this page started in April of 2019, but I did not come out on camera until April of 2021, last year. It's been about a year and a half. April of 2021 was the first time I came on camera and I shared my story. It's hard, I know. I don't cry anymore. Very seldom do I cry. The more you share your story, the more you heal. And the more you heal, the less it hurts. And the less it hurts, the less triggers there are. The more you share your story, the more you could be making a difference in the life of someone else. You could be saving someone's life. Your story could be someone else's survival guide. You have that strength within you. I know sometimes you feel like you don't, like you're ashamed. Oh, don't we all go through the shame when we get out? We go through the shame of we thought it was all our fault. We think we're just horrible. You have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a survivor. I am empowered to talk about what I have overcome in my lifetime. I am empowered to recognize just how strong I truly am to have survived everything I have survived. You'll get there. If you haven't started sharing your story, trust me, you'll get there. Just remember, you're not alone. You are not crazy. What's your next question for Ask Unbreakable Anything? Y'all go be unbreakable.